What has been the biggest lessons in the last year you've learned that have helped you with that exponential growth?
Compounding efforts works, man. Keeping your head down and, minimizing distractions, minimizing dumb mistakes, minimizing falling for the trap of flattery, falling for the trap of you've made it already, you're successful, you're rich, look at this, look what that guy said about you, look what this guy said about you. No, I have one fear. I have one big fear. And my biggest fear I got as a man is losing favor of God. Nothing I fear is a bigger fear than that. When I tell you nothing, I don't fear anything more than that. I fear losing favor from God. So how do you lose favor? Think about how you, imagine if you're the head coach of a football team, 52 kids, okay? And I'm the running back, but I'm the backup running back. But you like me because I bust my ass, I stay practice, I do this, I do that. In the locker room,
Got a good attitude.
Got a good attitude. I'm like, yes, coach. Hey, Johnny, come on, man, you got it. What are we doing, bro? Let's get it. I'm like nonstop the entire time. I'm training. I'm there with you. I'm watching the tape. I'm on time, everything. So I'm your guy, okay? So I have your favor.
Not the most talented guy.
I'm not at all, but I have your favor, okay? So I'm setting a good example for you to say, look at Patrick, look at Patrick, look at Patrick. So what do? Boom. Hey, but David, get in there. Get in there, coach, get in there. Boom. I get 6 yards. Come out. Boom. Great job, PBD. Okay. All right. Get in there. Boom. Boom. Get the first down. Get in there. You got to get the pass. 11 yards. Great job. Okay. Game ball. Boom. But PBD, great job today. All right, man. Hey, thanks, coach. And he comes afterwards. Hey, I want to see you in my office afterwards. What's up, coach? You play like this, you're going to have big things happen to you. You keep doing this. No problem. 3 games, 4 games, 5 games. Then the 6th game, I'm like, how come you're not putting me in, coach? What a freak. You should have put me in. If you would have put me, I would have gone the first down. Why don't you put me in? You should have put me in. And then, oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Then you come in, you sit all the way in the back, and you're not even taking notes.
Grumpy.
You're on your phone. You show 7 minutes late. You're talking back to the trainer. You're talking. He hears one of the offensive line hears you talking about the coach, and the offensive line, that's a veteran, been there for 12 years, goes and tells, hey, coach, I think you're losing with David, man. And he's saying such and such to the other running back, and I don't think he's good for a locker room anymore. Guess what happens? I'm being traded or dropped, and I'm done because I lost favor. This concept of losing favor applies to the people you work with. It applies with your clients. It applies with your audience. It applies with your customers. It applies with God. It applies with all of it. But remember, number one to me in life is to be a leader, right? To be a leader amongst leaders. So that's number one. And number one fear is losing favor of God, not losing favor from mainstream media, not losing favor from YouTube, not losing favor from XYZ people. It's losing favor from God. When I put those two at the top, so, it's very, so when all of a sudden it's like, hey, look what you got. Oh, do you see what I'm doing, man? You see how much of a big deal? No.
How do you manage your
Very
ego
hard.
or
Very
when
hard.
okay, I'm part owner of the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
This has been my dream my whole life. How do I talk about it in a positive and empowering way to showcase how far I've come and acknowledge my hard work, but also not just brag about it every day that look at me, I'm a New York Yankees owner, all these things. Here's a big multi-$100 million exit. Here's this thing. We're number one. How do you promote it and market it for business opportunity and momentum, but not allow ego to consume you to think you've got your shit doesn't stink?
So here's where the contradiction comes in. So brace for impact because it's going to get very confusing very soon. So for me, we've gotten away from the life of the rich and famous. As kids, we used to be like, oh my God, one day I want to be picked up in a limo. Yeah. What happened to limos, by the way? They're gone. Can you see, when's the last time you saw a limo?
Dead.
Right?
Yeah.
Dead, right? Imagine all these Armenians were in the limo business. They're like, what are they doing with the limo? They're driving their kids to school in a limo and no one cares today, right? So, but it was like, oh my God, that guy's got a helicopter. What if I can have a swimming pool, Rodeo Drive, going shopping, and a shopper takes me into mansions and this bedroom is so big and you got all this stuff. So we went from the life of the rich and famous to now the life of the poor and the victims. Now we're turning that into heroes. So it's like, oh, if I complain, I get 88,000 likes. But if I talk about how I took responsibility and I went out there and did this, 2,200 likes. So I'm going to cry more and complain more because it's going to get me more eyeballs. Oh my God, I can't stop crying. Why am I crying? Why am I crying? Why am I crying? Dylan, stop crying. Why am I crying? Oh my God, stop. It's disgusting.
It's like victim credibility.
It is disgusting for me. I mean, my skin hurts watching this kind of stuff that we got. So there's an element of this whole thing that we have to also sell why you ought to win, why you ought to go out there and set the example for others to say, I want to also go out there and win and have the life that you have. You have to also show that you can how to manage it together, how you're not arrogant about it, yet at the same time, I like a nice car. I like driving a nice $1 million car. I like having my $10 million car collection. I like having my boat parked outside. Where on the weekend, I like having my few watches here and there. I like having my nice clothes, and I like going to nice restaurants. I like it. I like all of that. I like being pampered and taken care of. It's one of the reasons why I worked so hard, because I wanted phenomenal service. I can't stand bad service. If you want great service, you have to pay premium to get great service. You can't expect premium from McDonald's when you're buying a $3.99 Big Mac. You can't expect it. This is a reason why 90% of McDonald's nationwide, you go on Yelp, they're all 1.5 stars. There's a reason for that. Because what do you expect from me? They're not paying me a lot anyways. Go to a 3 Michelin star restaurant and see what they're doing. Go to an 11 Madison. Go to a Casa D'Angelo. Go to some of these big places and Nobu's in the right places. See what kind of food they go to Catch. Last night we're at Catch. We ordered this Wagyu, tomahawk thing the guy brought with the salt on top of it.
Gold,
oh my God. It was insane, the food, and the service was phenomenal. So there's an element of selling that, and where this is a possibility that you can have this if you work very hard, but not from the standpoint of show off, I'm better, you're not. From the standpoint of, listen, if you got big dreams, here's what I did. It was hard. If you stick it out, it can happen to you as well. That's the concept of, capitalism, that most capitalists today don't know how to sell entrepreneurship like they used to back in the days. Today, they're embarrassed. They're ashamed. We have to be comfortable selling that as well, because the next generation, like we had, need the right heroes to emulate. If you don't talk about you winning, who the hell am I going to emulate?
Yeah.
I need somebody to emulate.
Wow.
So I need to know what it's like when you win.
Who's the dead mentor that gives you the best advice most frequently?
Who's the dead mentor that gives me the best advice?
Who tells you you're just a man?
Oh, that's Marcus Aurelius. Oh.
He's whispering that into your ear as you're walking
Aurelius,
down the street?
I mean, the greatest emperor Rome ever had, from 62 to 69 AD, and he had a slave telling him in his ear, you're nobody, you're nobody, you're just a man, you're nobody, when he's going on. He was a legend. I mean, meditation is the mandatory reading for any man. Any man, drop everything you're doing, pause the video, go order meditations. Before you order Choose Your Enemies Wisely, and go read the book. That is a must read for any man, human, to read. You got to read Meditations. The way it was a journal. It was not even supposed to be a book. It just kind of a couple of the writings that took off, but probably him. Because again, for me, my number one goal in life is being a leader amongst leaders. And that guy was a leader amongst leaders. So if I got 10 circles I can get in, I want to work for number one first. So I reach out to number one. Then I go to second draft pick, third draft pick, boom, 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 boom. Because I'm more interested in working for a guy to, like, for example, the girl I promoted to be the president of our insurance company today, Maral. She's been with me for 13 years. She used to be my banker at WAMU.